tuning in to Community Updates. I'm your host, Michelle White, and we've got some wonderful guests here this evening. We have comedian Crystal P, who's going to share some comedy, and she's got an upcoming event right here in the city of Detroit. And then we have Dr. Donule, who is seen regularly on Fox 2 News, sharing all types of important health information, and she's going to share some of that with us today. So, again, thank you for tuning in to Community Updates. I put on my Facebook page just a host of other community information for you, from reimbursements to educational programs to youth programs for the summer. So go to Michelle Turner White on Facebook and check out the myriad of things that I've posted just for you. So thank you for tuning in right here, WJZZ, the coolest station in the world. We're on from 6 to 7 every Wednesday evening. And if you have something that you would like us to talk about or something that you do that you want us to share in the community, we've got thousands of viewers, over 30,000 viewers. Please tune in. Please give me a call and let me know. My number is 248-238-4863. And then we also wanted to tell you about our sponsor, ABB Wealth Strategies, where they help you with strategies that help you before retirement and while you're in retirement. They give you peace of mind by showing you how to take money that you have and grow it even more. ABB Wealth Strategies. You can contact them at 248-988-8200. Again, that's 248-988-8200. Support our sponsors like they support our communities. Thank you again for tuning in. WJZZ Community Updates right here, coolest station in the world. So thank you, ladies, for being our guests this evening. We've got Crystal P, who you have an upcoming show that is on um, April the 12th.
Yes.
And right here in the city. Tell us about that, the Dearborn Performing Arts.
Yes, it is the More Than Eyes Can See show, Saturday, April 12th.
Mm-hmm.
This will be my last More Than the Eyes Can See show.
Okay.
Everybody is so upset with me. This is the fifth one that I've done.
Mm-hmm.
Most people know me as the comedian, but people know me in other realms as well. The reason why I call it More Than Eyes Can See is it is just that more than the eyes can see your naked eye.
Mm-hmm.
Most people, like I said, know me as the comedian, but some people know me as the baker. Some people know me as a former hairstylist. Some people know me as the person that used to sew. Some people know me as different things, different parts of my life. And a lot of those things I bring together and culminate them on one stage.
Okay.
When I first, the vision came to mind in 2009, I just had the idea, wow, what if I brought all of the different parts of me on stage? It was
Mm-hmm.
actually kind of funny because I had one of my old clients, my old cake clients, call me and say, hey, girl, you're not going to believe this. Somebody using your name. I said,
Mm-hmm.
what? Yeah, I was telling my friend about you. And I told her, yeah, Crystal P, she does comedy and stuff. She was like, oh, yeah, I had this comedian, or this Crystal P that used to do my hair. She was like, are you serious? She said, I'm going to call her right now and tell her somebody's stealing her name. And they're going back and forth over who
But you
had
do
the
hair
name
too.
first. And it end up they talking about the same person.
Uh-huh.
So it was
Oh, I
so
know you. Do you use
funny.
that in comedy?
I don't talk about the hair part much because it's been over 20 something years
Okay.
since I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have done a couple of jokes about it here and there, but
Mm-hmm.
never really delved into it on that part.
Well,
But
I'm going to share a little bit of, as I was reading your
yeah.
bio, I did see where you do baking as well and helping
Mhm.
the community in baking things. So Crystal P enjoys putting love and laughter in the hearts of many with an in your face style of comedy. Crystal P bakes up something sweet on and off stage to feed the funny bones of all those who will digest what she is serving. I love that. And whether in a club, church, corporate event, school, I saw some of your church comedy that you're doing. We're going to be showing a clip
Mhm.
of the upcoming show shortly. And you've opened for Steve
Mhm.
Harvey, who is so funny. and the boss, Diana Ross, Patti LaBelle, Stephanie Mills, with Frankie Beverly and Mays, Shaka Khan and the Whispers, and the OJs and El DeBarge, so Marvin Sapp, CeCe Winans, and the list goes on. So you have performed before many different artists, and you're a
Mhm.
noted artist yourself. And you snagged the titles Detroit Black Music Award and the Comedian of the Year, Royal Crowns crowned comedian, and the Detroit New Queen of Comedy.
Mhm.
So are you from here?
I grew up in Royal Oak Township, so
Okay.
8 Mile in Myers
Yes,
area.
yes. And they have
Hmm.
a very tight community. Royal Oak Township
Yes,
people
we
get together
do.
every year.
Yes,
We'll talk
yes,
about it
and that's
afterwards. I
where the
know some people
spinners are
from.
from. A lot of
Okay, I
people
know
don't
some
know
people from
that's.
Royal Oak Township.
Yes, yes.
So you've been on America's Got Talent, on the Apollo Show, Laugh Laugh
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah
Hmm.
comedy, and you've appeared on Showtime as well. So you've just been going all around. You gonna share some comedy with us tonight?
I might
Just a
say a
little
little
bit.
something.
Just say a little something, something. Okay. So that is wonderful. So you live by the motto: the purpose of life is to live a life of purpose.
Yes.
Yes, that's so true. And people need to find, everybody's, I don't know what my purpose is. You
Mhm.
got to find out,
Yeah, we
because
all
we
have
all have a
gifts.
gifts and different gifts and
Absolutely.
talents. And one person's gift and talent might not be someone else's.
Hmm.
So you've
Hmm.
got baking, hair, comedy. When did you first find out that you were really funny?
As a child,
Mm.
I was that child. Remember growing up, we're old school. I think most of us are seasoned in here,
Yes, yes.
and we grew up
We
in a
got a little
time.
flavor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We grew up in a time where children were supposed to be seen
Seen
and
and
not
not
heard,
heard. Yes.
and I was that child that was seen and heard, and got away with it.
So you would laugh
Because
in front of the adults. You didn't leave the room.
yes, I would tell little jokes and sing little songs, and I did old people stuff, which is
Hmm.
why I probably have the old spirit that I have. I'm the person that bakes yeast rolls, makes
Oh, okay.
dressing, I
I'm gonna
make
make sure I
homemade
keep your
banana
number.
pudding, and I do things the old school way
Oh,
because
wonderful.
I had an older mother. My mother had me later in life.
Hmm.
My grandmother was older, so I picked up a lot of old school. I was playing bid with when I
Okay.
was 7 years old.
Okay.
I learned about up and downtown and the kitty, and just I was always in the mix.
I used to play a card game with my grandmother, but I can't remember. And they used to have
Uh,
pennies that they would. I can't remember the name of
oh
the game.
wow,
It
yeah,
wasn't Bid Whist though.
yeah. I was
Her
playing
Jolly Girls
spades when I
Club.
was 6, and bid whist when I was 7. I was playing bridge. By the time I was 12, I played
Hmm.
chess and
Hmm.
Scrabble. Just with the family, we always are. We're a pretty tight knit family, and we play
That's
games and
wonderful.
laugh. But I've been just a child that's kind of comical all my life. I was the class clown in
Hmm.
high school.
Did you still keep your grades up?
Yes,
Oh, good. That's
most
good.
most comedians are some of the smarter people you.
So how did the more that you might have shared it earlier, but how
Mhm.
did the more than eyes can see? How did that originate?
So it originated from the different parts of my life.
Hmm.
I had this idea: what if I took different facets of my life and brought it to one stage? The very first show that I ever did was in 2016 at Renaissance High School. And so I design all the clothes because I used to sew. I don't
Hmm.
sew anymore, but I design everything and have my seamstress put it together.
Hmm.
Um, Come up with how I'm going to wear my hair,
Hmm.
what the VIPs are going to eat. I was even cooking all of the food and the desserts for the VIPs, serving it before the start of the show, and
Hmm.
then go get dressed, open up the show with stand up, then come back, change some clothes, get my Diana Ross on. Yeah, wear 3, 4, 5,000 outfits,
No.
and come back and do the music portion. So singing, playing
Hmm.
instruments, and each show I introduce a different instrument or play several instruments. So,
Oh, so you play as well.
hmm
You sing
hmm
and play.
hmm hmm
Awesome.
so you just bring all these
So you
different
just
facets.
well-rounded talent.
Yeah, they call me the Jackie of all trades.
I like that. So Crystal P, tell me, you the show now. Those who are listening, go to whether you're on YouTube or watching us on WJZZ Cool TV on Facebook. We've got tickets for this upcoming event
Yes,
that
yes.
we're going to be giving away to different people that you can't call in right now. but you can text us or comment on YouTube or WJZZ Facebook page. So you need to go there and say I'd like a ticket, and we might ask some questions or do something funny. We got to see how we're going to do this to
Okay.
give away the tickets. But we've got several tickets that she has brought this evening, and I'm wondering if we can see. This is the not the
Flyer.
ticket, but one of the flyers with your beautiful pictures on
Thank
here.
you. Thank
Yes,
you.
more than I can see.
Hmm.
So we're going to be talking more. This is going to be at the Dearborn Performing Arts Center, which is a lovely center.
Theater.
I've had
Yes,
an
yes.
opportunity. I sing too, and I had opportunity to perform there. It's a beautiful place.
Beautiful place.
Yes, it is. And for those of you who don't get tickets today, you can call 248-622-2116.
That's for the VIP or the Crystal Ballers
Okay.
tickets. So the Crystal Ballers is basically a sponsorship ticket because a lot of
Mhm.
people can't do $1,000, $5,000 sponsorship packages.
Mhm.
So it's like a small sponsorship ticket. We do have VIP. You can purchase your tickets, general admission tickets, right from the box office or online. You can go to my website, crystalpiscrazy.com, and you can click on the flyer there and to purchase tickets. It'll connect you
So
right
you
to the
can go
box
to her
office.
website,
Yes.
crystalp.com.
And even sign up for the
Crystal
news
P is crazy.com.
crystalpiscrazy.com and sign up for the newsletter,
Mhm.
and it'll let you know about other upcoming shows.
Okay. And you can also call 248-622-2116. Get those VIP
Yeah.
tickets. And
And
we're going
actually it's called VI Crystal P, but
oh, okay. Okay.
I put my name on everything.
Okay. That's
My
your
name
brand.
and yeah, yeah. It's a part of me. So you gotta push it.
Mhm.
Definitely have to push it. But it's going to be a phenomenal show. My MD is Demetrius Neighbors, who has played for Althea Renee, Alexander Zonchek. He
Mhm.
also produced on Kim's album.
Mhm.
So we have a full professional team on stage with musicians and musicians, vocalists,
Mhm.
other comedians will be on the show as well.
Okay.
So it's a phenomenal show. Those I have some people that have been to every one that I've done.
Mhm.
Some you get some new people, and it surprises them because this is a show that you typically don't see
Okay.
and get.
So you've got a great audience if they're coming to all of your shows. That's wonderful. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening today to some of your comedy. You are very funny.
Thank
Yes,
you.
you are.
Thank you.
And that's wonderful because laughter does good for the soul.
Yes,
Married
laughter
for the
do
soul,
good like a medicine,
like
but a
a
broken
medicine.
spirit drieth the soul. Yeah,
Yes.
and we definitely need comedy in the days that we had. Even during the pandemic,
Uh-huh.
I was one of few comedians that was doing comedy online.
Mm.
So people would hire me via Zoom, via Microsoft Teams, for whatever online StreamYard, different online platforms to do stand up. We even did some like round robin comedy on Facebook Live,
Hmm.
where people would just donate to the person, whoever was appearing on, and we would run 3 4 hours with comedians back to back just to keep people uplifted during the pandemic because it was
Which
a
was
rough
so needed.
time. Yeah, it was a rough time, and that's when I decided. I talked to my husband. I said, "Well, what do you think about if I taught little kids how to bake?" And
Hmm.
because people always say, "Would you want to teach my child?" No, I. But the pandemic proved me wrong.
Hmm.
It was a need for it, so I came up with you have painting with a twist. I have baking with a whisk, and
I
did
love
online
that.
classes with kids twice a week,
Hmm.
teaching them how to bake homemade. So my children, and then even adults joined in, and I had people in all time zones across the United States, and even doing some private classes. So people, because we couldn't have birthday parties during the pandemic,
Hmm.
people will hold them online, and they
Hmm.
would get their friends and family together.
Hmm.
And so I would do just a class for their birthday or for their special event, the Deltas, Jack and Jill, the Carrots. And you would have your group, and I would teach you how to bake something or
So,
do
parents
comedy.
and grandparents, you're listening, and you have children that you want to have a party for, or even adults. I'm sure you
Hmm.
do adults.
Hmm.
You can have a comedian come and help do your party. I was at a party once, and they had a magician.
Yes.
And it was wonder if you were a strolling magician that was doing some wonderful acts. You could have your comedian, Miss Crystal P, at your party, or
Yes.
have her at your youth party or adult party to make some baked goods.
Oh yeah.
So, what type of baked goods do you make?
So in the classes, I taught homemade banana pudding. Now this the old school. We don't use Jello. We make everything custard with the egg yolks.
Now, our heart specialist
Mm.
over here might have something to say about
Oh,
that.
sounds good to me.
Sound
But
good to
yeah,
you? You said eat it in moderation.
bananas.
Moderation, that's
Yes,
right.
yes, yes. German chocolate cake. We
Mm.
made
Where's the
lemon
party at?
bars and
I want some banana
oatmeal
pudding and some
arrays and
German
cookies,
chocolate.
chocolate
Oh
chip
my
cookies. We
goodness.
made brownies. We made Rice Krispie treats my way. We don't make them like the box.
Mm.
I have developed a bunch of my own recipes. We made key lime pie,
Okay,
pound
now I
cake,
want some
butter
sweets.
pound
And
cake.
I
We
ate
made key lime pound
celery and
cake.
carrots all day.
Oh wow, sweet potato pie.
Uh,
And I had children as young as 2
mm.
and as old as 82.
Oh, that's nice. The 2 year
They
olds were
we made
cooking,
sweet potato
learning how to cook.
cheesecake. Oh yeah, I taught them everything from whisking to
Yeah.
sifting
Uh-huh.
to zesting. They knew every aspect of baking. We've made homemade chicken pot pies,
Mm.
even though that's more of an entree for dinner because we
Mhm.
made the crust and the filling,
Mhm.
and you had to bake it. We considered a baking item. We made homemade pizza.
I have a girlfriend named Mafaro that makes the best homemade. She might be listening now. Makes the best homemade chicken pot pie. And there was a period in our life where we were doing a lot of fasting,
uh,
and she would always make something super duper good for
During Lent.
everybody. Do when we couldn't eat it. I'm like,
uh-huh.
can you make this
After
afterwards too?
Lent,
But
that's the
it's I
hard
love a
part. But
homemade chicken
we
pot
had
pie.
so many banana bread. We made zucchini bread.
Mm,
Just it was over 30 something recipes
okay.
that I developed, and I'm
Have you ever thought about doing some workshops in the colleges, like Wayne County Community College, like
actually I
as a
did
continuing
talk to
education type
somebody
program or summer
at the
series?
college,
Mm-hmm.
and then they switched up administration, and so I
Mm.
never went back. But I've been developing my cookbook. That's been on the burner, but I'm doing too many things. So I have to, you know,
Well,
go
I'm an
back to that
executive at Wayne County
fire.
Community College District. If you'd like to see about opening that door again, we
Okay.
can talk.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
because I actually
for maybe the summer
I was
series.
able to get other people in to do photography, to teach photography classes
Uh-huh.
there, and some other doors that opened up for other people because I'm always
Speaking
for spreading the wealth.
of Wayne County Community College District, for those of you, summer registration has started. So if you don't wait till summer. Registration at Wayne County Community College District has started now, and classes are free for those that are 60 and older. Absolutely free. You say, is this class free? Everything is free
Oh
for those that
wow.
are 60 and older. So go to Wayne County Community College District or wcccd.edu, and just go in and register, or go online and look and see what we offer. So
Wow,
you're just
wow.
doing wonderful things, and so many things in the community, and just around the country, and sharing and spreading your comedy. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, like I said, we needed. I'm a person. I was diagnosed with lupus in
Mm,
2015, so I try to give back to Lupus Detroit, Shay Lady,
awesome.
the Lupus Warrior, her
Okay.
foundation, and keep people engaged
You've been
and
keeping your
show.
lupus under control.
Pretty much, I
Awesome.
take vitamins. I'm
Hmm.
one of few that don't. I don't like taking medicine, so I don't
Okay.
take the medicine that they prescribe. I just find a more.
You shouldn't say that to the doc.
Yeah,
That's
right,
right.
right.
That's
But
why we're
The,
here.
natural medications
it's
are,
That's why
funny
we're here.
because
holistic things are, I'm doing, I'm
the
moving towards that.
doctor, the lupus doctors are the same as those who treat arthritis and other ailments.
Mhm.
He he's like shocked because I don't have any issues. When I first got diagnosed, all my hair came out. I was looking like
Mm.
Florida Evans.
Yeah,
I had this little
Florida was beautiful
afro.
with her little
No,
afro.
and look, not the facial look,
Yes,
the
yeah, I know what you
hair.
mean.
It was I had to cut all my hair off,
Mm.
but I grew all my
And
hair
look at it,
back,
it's
and
all
well,
grown
and it's
and
actually
pretty
long. It comes down
curls.
here,
Okay.
and but I keep it natural. I keep heat out of my hair. I
Okay.
only let it down to trim my ends, and then I twist it back up. But it's the healthiest it's ever been since I was a child. Um, I exercise. I can walk up steps without getting winded. I used to have issues with asthma
Mm.
and couldn't walk up steps and wheezing, huffing and puffing. and I started taking vitamins and building my immune system and just working on myself inside out and flipped everything. So it keeps people encouraged because I let them know, you can have lupus, but lupus doesn't have to have you,
That's right.
and you can still live a fruitful life. But I know there are times, okay, you got to sit down, relax, rest, get your rest. It's important to get your rest. I try to cut back on sugar. Sugar is not really good for those who suffer from lupus or any autoimmune disease for that matter. So you do things in moderation.
Hmm.
But yeah, I stay good. I trimmed down from this last show. Me on the flyer. I think I was about
You see how good she looking on this
two
fly? Them fly
maybe
clothes.
about two forty
Yeah.
five on there, two
Okay.
forty five, and I'm down to about 215 now.
Awesome. Just
So
from eating healthier and
yep,
taking
watching my
vitamins and
portions,
exercising.
and yep, just why. And I
Mhm.
don't do anything major, so you're not gonna see me throwing tires and jumping over cliffs and stuff. Just some regular walking, some light
I had
lifting.
one trainer that literally had me climbing up mountains on my hands and
Yeah,
knees.
yeah, yeah,
It was good exercise, but Lord have
yeah.
mercy.
No, I'm not
Climbing up a
that
mountain on
person.
my knee. I'm like, what are you trying to do
Yeah,
to me?
yeah, yeah. I don't do burpees and things of that nature.
Mhm.
My knees aren't, like Megan's, so I recognize my knee anointing, and I'm not gonna put that kind of pressure on these patellas, these north of 50 patellas.
Well, um, thank you so much for sharing your story. And we're
Yes,
going to keep talking
yes.
as well. And we're going to keep announcing you're right here on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. You're watching right now Community Updates. We're here every Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. And we have Ms. Crystal P., who is a comedian, and she has an upcoming show on April the 12th. We've got tickets. You need to go right now and put something in the comments section on WJZZ Cool TV's Facebook page, or I shared it with my page, Michelle Turner White, or go to YouTube. So you need to be putting something in the comments section so you can get some tickets to the More Than I Can
More than
See,
the eyes can
More
see.
Than the Eyes Can See comedy
And
show,
this is number 5, the finale.
the finale. She
Yes,
said
yes,
this is the end
yes.
of this. So for those of you who have been watching it and following her, you can get some free tickets right here
Yes.
on Community Updates. But you need to comment in the comment section and let us know that you would like some. So next we have Doctor. I mean, I know you told me that you're a doctoral candidate very soon to finish your and receive your doctorate, but we're gonna call you doctor now. We
I
speak of
Come
those
received
on
that.
things as
now.
I
not
As
as
received
though
though
that.
they
they
are.
are.
Put them into existence.
Amen.
Yes,
Amen.
yeah.
So right now we have Miss Donule. Did I say it right?
Daniele.
Daniela.
Donule
Yes.
Knuckles, who is a PhD doctoral candidate at Wayne State and University, and she's an entrepreneur of over 28 years since graduating from the University of Michigan School of Nursing in Ann Arbor. So she's currently a nurse that has gone on to further her education and become a doctor. Now you're becoming a doctor in what area?
So I'm becoming a PhD in
Hmm.
nursing
Okay.
with a specialty in hypertension.
Okay.
I got a
So
call.
a PhD in nursing with a special in hypertension. And didn't you tell us heart health as well? Great. Go ahead and cough. We got it. Drink some water. I'll finish reading her bio. She's a published a co-author in the she's a published co-author in the Journal of Behavioral Medicine on a medical mistrust systematic review and the mind behind the development of the middle range theory um, of adherence to hypertension, self care, where she works to close the disparity gap in hypertension within Black Americans and other vulnerable groups.
Yes, ma'am.
She is known as Nurse Knuckles and as the owner of Knuckles Health Education Services, LLC, where she trains and confides, certifies adults, youth, and organizations in critical life saving skills like CPR, first aid, AED, and more things. Her own congenital heart vulnerability and survivorship led her to become the founder, CEO, and president of Love Yourself for Life, LY4L, Love Yourself for Life, which is her 501c3 nonprofit organization that promotes self care, heart health, and stroke prevention, providing year round resources, support, and a weekend camp retreat experience for heart and stroke survivors. So I know that some of you that are listening are heart and stroke survivors, and she has a wonderful camp where she's going to tell us more about that has one coming up for the summer because she was just sharing it with someone else. And so you need to get this information. Get your pencil in hand so you can write it down. Don't be calling me saying, "What was that she said?" I'm going to say, "Go look at the program."
Right.
So after defending her PhD proposal in January of 2025, you may know her now as the Heart Doctor, standing for Health Education, Advocacy, Training, Divinely Outstanding Caregiver, Trusted, God Glorifying Nature. Um, Trusted outcomes, driven and real. Her transparency, expert passion for the health and wellness of people, and her God glorifying nature led her to join the WDIV Fox 2 News team in 2022 as the trusted health professional and heartbeat of life. So many of you may have seen her on WDIV Fox 2 News, where she comes on and shares many different tips about various things, but in particularly hypertension and heart health. So, not again, we have Dr. Donule Knuckles. Welcome, Dr. Knuckles.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I
Thank you for
appreciate
being
that.
here.
I'm
Yes,
elated to be here.
yes. So, tell us about your your start, how you got started. You said you had some heart challenges yourself.
Right. So I am the owner of Knuckles Health Education Services. Like you
Hmm.
said, we are a business that supports, educates, empowers, serves, and saves lives. And basically, um, one day after coming home from work, where I was
Hmm.
working at Children's Hospital,
Okay.
I went home and I was there with my 11-year-old daughter,
Hmm.
and I went to the room to get some more work done.
Hmm.
And suddenly my eyes started to roll into the top of my head. My mouth felt numb, and I felt like I was about to die. So
Mm.
I walked from my bedroom to the living room. My daughter, who was 11 years old, saw me. She recognized that I was not looking right. She called 911. Um, they got there, and the last thing I know is I was in the hospital.
Oh my goodness.
They told me when I woke up that I had a stroke at the age of 39 years old.
39. And people think that's so young. How could she have
Right.
a stroke? But things can happen at any age.
At any age.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they didn't understand why, because I didn't have the precursors and all that, like high blood pressure, diabetes, and those things.
Hmm.
So they checked my heart. And what they found is that I had a hole in my heart, and that
Mm.
unfiltered blood routed through that hole up to my brain, causing a full fledged stroke. I could not walk. I could not talk. I was blind. All
Oh
I
my
could do was
goodness.
hear.
Thank God that
So,
you're healed,
yes,
delivered,
Liver.
set free.
Yes,
yes, I
yes.
did have to have
Because
heart
you can tell
surgery.
none of that now.
No, I
You
don't look
said you
like what
couldn't
I've been.
walk,
I couldn't
you
walk.
couldn't talk.
I couldn't even do a crossword puzzle,
Mm.
because once I did regain one of my eyes and were able to see, I went to physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and I was given a word search to
Mhm.
just get my neural pathways back, my brain back working, and I could not do the word search. And I couldn't believe it because I didn't really know the effect that that stroke had on me. So what I did was I had my mom go get me some word search booklets from like the Dollar Tree, and
Mhm.
all day while I was inpatient at the rehab center, I
Mhm.
would start, I would put the date, the time that I started, and the time that I ended, and I wouldn't do anything but find those words. And
Right.
eventually my
Now,
brain,
were you in school back then when you were 37? Had you already
no,
become a nurse?
I have been a nurse for almost 20 years at that point.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So you
I
were
was
a
also,
nurse.
yeah, I was Nurse Knuckles. I was the
Okay.
one going out teaching CPR, first
Mm.
aid, and how to recognize the signs of a stroke. And
Wow.
luckily, I would take my children with me. And
Hmm.
Taylor was my daughter. She would go all over the place, so she knew to call 911. And fortunately, she did that fast because that's the acronym that we use
Hmm.
to help recognize a stroke. FAST,
T.
face,
Yep.
arm,
Arms.
speech, time.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to say this real quick, and we're going to come back to that. We've got some people that would like some tickets.
Okay.
So we've got Stanley Brooks who would like a couple of those tickets, and Valentine
Oh,
Clarissa.
Clarissa.
Clarissa. Oh,
She
okay.
said you are amazing. That you do it. You know her.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. She
Yes.
said you do an amazing job. So we're going to give her some tickets as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. She's been to the show and supports
Okay.
big time
Wonderful.
support.
Awesome. So again, Dr. Knuckles, so you went through that experience, and then sometimes people struggle to get through it. What kind of things that you have to tell? You said you got the word books from your mother and you would write the
Mhm.
date and so forth on them. What are the things that you have to do mentally to get your mind that I'm not dying, woe is me? And did you have to speak
Yeah,
confidently to yourself?
absolutely. I had incredible faith. I had the support of my family,
Yeah.
my work, and
Hmm.
everybody just came together. But it wasn't until I was invited to attend a bowling fundraiser to send survivors to a weekend retreat,
Okay.
and that I realized, how much I was affected by the stroke because, and her name is Joyce Jones. I'm putting her out there.
Okay.
Joyce Jones, she was a nurse at Henry Ford Hospital in the
Hmm.
stroke department. She's retired now. But she invited me to the fundraiser. And while there at the bowling alley, she said, "Okay, Daniele, I want you to come to camp with us." I
Hmm.
said, "Sure, you want me to do CPR, blood pressures? What you need
Hmm.
me to do?"
Hmm.
She said, "No, I want you to come as a survivor."
Oh,
And
wow.
at that point, I said, "No,
Mm.
I don't tell people I had a stroke. I
Mm.
don't look like I had a stroke.
Mhm.
I'm 39 years old." And although I knew that because I was working in the Children's Hospital, Children's Special Health Care Services Department,
Mhm.
and I had a 2 year old that I was working with that had a stroke.
Mhm.
So I knew you can have strokes at all different ages, but why me was the thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
And that
I,
often happens. Why me?
yeah,
Why did this happen
yeah,
to me? And God's
exactly.
like, why
Because I'm
not
the
you?
nurse. I'm Nurse Snuggles. I'm teaching people how to
Right.
recognize it.
Right.
So when you talk about purpose and your
Mm.
passion and how that leads you into your calling,
Mhm.
I am that. So
Mhm.
basically, what happened was
Me
I
too.
reluctantly went to the camp, and
Mhm.
that camp experience changed my life. At that
Mm.
point, I realized it's okay to be a survivor.
Mhm.
It's okay that you are here because most people don't make it. Every 40 seconds, somebody in this nation dies of a stroke.
Mm.
And women,
You said how often?
every 40 seconds.
Every 40
Wow.
seconds.
Every 40
Not 40
seconds.
minutes.
Every 40
40
seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
seconds. Someone dies of a stroke.
Right. So I was really excited that I did go to the camp.
What do
And
you
when I
call that
came
when
back,
your face gets distorted?
facial numbness
Yes.
and the
Yeah.
drooping on one
Yeah, I
side.
had
Yeah.
that. Scared the life out of me.
Yeah. So you probably had a TIA, a mini
Yes.
stroke.
Stroke.
Ugh.
That's like a warning. If you don't get it together, you might have a
Ugh.
big one or something's
Lord
going
have
on.
mercy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm getting it together.
Yeah. So good for you. And so
Hmm.
when I came back from the camp, I said, you know what? I got to share this with my community because I
Hmm.
know the disparities that happen in the Black community
Hmm.
around heart health and things like
Hmm.
that. So I got some friends together and I said, we're going to go down here. We're going to talk about stroke. I'm going to share my story.
Hmm.
And we were down at the U of M Center right
Hmm.
down in Detroit, the U of M Detroit Center, right on
Okay.
Woodward and Mac.
Hmm.
And it was amazing. People came from all over, and I even had some vendors there, some entrepreneurs, because I know how entrepreneur life is. So we had the vendors there,
Hmm.
and we had an amazing time. Once we were done, one of the ladies came up to me and said, "Hey, I want to know what's the date for next year." so I could put it on my planner. And we hadn't thought that far. So at that point, while we were cleaning up, we decided, you know what, we got to keep this going. So let's make a name. Let's figure it out. And so
Mhm.
at that point, we decided the name was going to be Love Yourself for Life, because
I
it's
love
important
that.
to love ourselves throughout whatever we go through. So that's how that nonprofit now is fully
Love
functional.
yourself for life.
Love Yourself for Life.
And
So
you know, a
now,
lot of people, we think we're loving ourselves, but many things that we can do that show that we aren't.
right,
So sometimes it's something that we say, but not something that we're doing.
exactly.
And I had to come to grips with that myself
Mhm.
because I love myself and I think I look pretty no matter what weight size I am. I think I look good. You know, you
Yeah,
gotta
you
love,
do.
you
You
gotta
gotta
like
You
you,
do.
you gotta
believe
like
and
yourself. If you
listen.
don't like yourself, then
Exactly.
nobody else gonna like you.
Right.
And that's
However,
facts.
I've learned the hard way that I'm not loving myself the way I should
Should
Hmm.
if I keep putting things in my body
that should
that are
be there.
harmful to my body.
Right. We have to prioritize our health as
Yes.
women, because
Yes.
we tend to take care of everybody else.
Everybody else
You
but
know,
us.
our spouses, our
Mhm,
children,
mhm.
the church, the
Yes,
neighbors,
yes.
everybody.
Everybody.
But we forget about us, or we are so low on that totem pole that it doesn't
Mhm,
even matter.
mhm.
So
And we have to stop that.
that's right.
So
And
for
Love
you,
Yourself for
those of
Life
you who are
helps.
listening, love yourself for life.
That's right. For
And
life.
tune. And so you're on at what time on Fox 2 News in the morning?
Usually it's the 11 o'clock live show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watch
So,
Fox 2 News all the time, by the way.
oh yeah.
Sorry, Channel 4 and 7.
Right. Well, actually, Channel 4 was the station that did a big story on me in 2020 when we actually developed the camp. So from that
Okay.
experience, we now have our own camp where we send heart and stroke survivors, their family members, and caregivers to a weekend retreat.
Okay.
And in February, we have a big Go Red event
Hmm.
and just a lot of
In
support
February,
throughout.
Big Go Red.
We just did that on February 7th.
And you have April the 2nd, Growing with Us.
Yeah, so every first Wednesday of the month,
Hmm.
we have what's called Keys to Life. It is our survivorship program. It's a support group. So we have people come out. We talk about how we are survivors, and then we have an educational session. So we have someone coming out to
Okay.
show us how to pot and plant our own vegetation.
Awesome. Now,
Mhm.
what if you got a lot of critters in the back? I have
Well, she tells you,
possums or something, and
yeah,
they get on my
there's
doggone
different things
nerves.
you could do to
Yeah, I'm
get
gonna
them
get one of
go
those
away.
tents
Yeah.
things so I can grow my own vegetables. In my last house, I grew several things,
Hmm.
but I have not been able to because of these possums
Yeah.
or groundhogs. I
Yeah.
don't know what
And
they
then
are.
you
They
could pot
ugly and they get on
them
my
and
nerves.
raise them, put them in risers and
No,
different
they will
things like.
climb up.
She's
They
gonna
take
tell
my
us what
stuff
to
in the
do.
backyard and throw it around like it's
Oh
theirs.
yes, yes.
Yeah, they gotta go.
So you might want to come and see what she
Yeah, I
has to
might
say
have to
about
come and
that.
see what
Yeah.
she has to say. So one of the viewers has asked, can blood thinners cause bleeding in the brain or stroke?
Okay, so blood thinners, the bleeding in the brain is more so when those arteries have been pressed out and it stretches to the point where you have little cuts. So it doesn't necessarily cause bleeding in the brain unless the lining of those cerebral arteries or the brain arteries is leaking some type of way.
Okay.
So yeah, blood
Okay.
thinners are fine. Most people who have had a history of a heart issue, the
Mhm.
doctor wants them to take a 81 milligram aspirin.
Mm.
That keeps the blood thin enough and it
And when
reduces
you
the
have
risk.
heart challenges, they
Hmm.
want you to take
Right,
a baby
baby
aspirin.
aspirin.
Uh-huh.
Because what happens is it keeps the blood thin and reduces the risk of high blood pressure or a clot.
Mm. So tell us some other things, Dr. Knuckles, that we should be mindful of to prevent
Hmm.
heart, strokes and high blood pressure and hypertension. Certainly eating well and having vegetables like you're going to do the growing with
Right.
us.
So, of course, the American Heart Association has something called Life Simple 8.
Mhm.
And that's so important. It's lifestyle thing recommendations like eating healthy, eating a variety of fruit and
And
getting your
greens,
nutrients.
green
Exactly.
things.
Moving around. And you don't have to move tires.
Yeah.
Walking is
You don't have
actually
to
a
Yeah,
climb
very,
up
great.
you don't have to
mountains.
do the
Yes.
burpees and things like that, although
That's
they're
what that's
they're
called,
great.
burpees.
Yeah,
When
That's what
you
she was
go
saying.
up, down, and then jump on
Exactly.
the floor and
Oh,
come
that.
back up.
My
But they
jumping
say
days are
that
over.
you could break it down to 10 minutes
Uh-huh.
3 times a day because we want you to get 150
Okay.
minutes of moderate
And those
activity
people who
per
are
week.
listening and tuning in, ask some more questions, some more medical
Hmm.
questions. We've got the doctor right here, and she's here to help us so that we can live for life.
That's how I got my
That's
Live.
blood
right.
How,
pressure
what's it?
down.
Love yourself for
Love
life.
Love
yourself for
yourself for
life.
life.
Yes.
I
And
love
self
that. I think I'm gonna
care.
put that on my
That's
refrigerator.
right. Self love is self care for the
You have
heart.
some stickers. You need to make that
Right. Right.
a magnet that people
Exactly.
can put on their refrigerator.
That's right.
Remember, I gave you that. I know. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
I was gonna
Yes.
say, Dr. Knuckles, fight. Use your
Right.
knuckles, fight for
Well,
your health.
Fighting
also
for your
Knuckles.
life.
Well, actually, Knuckles Health Education Services fights to educate, empower, serve, and save lives.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love
So
that.
that is
But
what we
love
do. Love yourself
yourself
for
for
life.
life. That would be a reminder. If it's big enough to put on my refrigerator, I'm like, okay, Michelle.
Yeah. We have
My reminder, love
Yes.
yourself,
That's
Michelle,
right.
or
That's
anybody
right.
who's listening. We have to love ourselves.
Exactly. And we have opportunities throughout the year where
Mhm.
we are doing educational
Okay.
seminars and webinars and things like that. But I want to stress the importance of high blood pressure.
Hmm.
That is the most potent risk factor to cardiovascular disease, heart attack, stroke, and things like that. So
Okay.
I really want people to understand hypertension. And because my research centers around hypertension or high blood pressure,
Now tell us what hypertension is. Somebody might
right?
not know
So
that term.
hypertension is the same as high blood pressure,
Mhm.
okay? And high blood pressure is the pressure in the arteries when your heart beats and when it relaxes. And a lot of times people don't understand what's going on with the heart and why is my pressure high. But what I am doing in my research is looking at personal, social, and cultural factors that affect the way we take care of ourselves after we know we have high blood pressure and after the doctor may have said you need to take medicine.
Mhm.
So I'm looking at things, real life things, like medical mistrust.
Mhm.
That is real. That's
Oh,
a
that's very
reality.
real. I don't trust everything the doctors say because they want
Exact.
to pump
And you
you with
shouldn't.
pills.
You shouldn't
I
trust
take the
everything.
ones I think I need to take. Now, sometimes I've gotten myself in trouble
And
because
yes.
I take gabapentin
Okay.
because for high blood pressure and diabetes or whatever I'm
Diabetes.
taking it
Yeah.
for.
For diabetes.
And I stopped taking it. I said, this stuff is not working. I don't need to put this pill in my body. And I just stopped for a period.
Hmm.
And oh, I saw it was working.
Oh, it was working.
I
Right.
said, oh, okay. I need to keep taking that one.
Right.
But I
Right.
mean, I was seriously, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I need to keep taking
So
this one.
medical mistrust is a very big one. Another one is patient provider communication.
Mhm.
How well do you communicate with your doctor? Do you think that they're listening to you? Are they actually listening to you or just shooing you off?
Mhm.
That's important. Another thing is health literacy. Do you understand the information that is being provided to you?
And we have to take responsibility for our own health care and do some research
Mhm.
search and know what we're to take and how we're to take it
Absolutely.
throughout the day.
Absolutely.
So as I've gotten more seasoned, I've learned that okay, I got to take some responsibility for my. I can't just listen to just the doctor and do what they say. I have to learn myself about my health.
Exactly. And that's why I'm here because I've been the patient on the other side of the
Mm.
table. Yes, I've been a health provider, but I've been on both sides. So I understand how it feels to
Now,
uh
somebody asked a medical question to you, but Dr. Crystal P, she decided to. So somebody wanted to know, uh, what's your advice about diabetes,
Pre-diabetes.
pre-diabetes? So Crystal said, cut out the processed sugars, processed foods, and breads, and exercise. And I got my own numbers down, which is
and
true.
that you know what and that is very good. It's the same thing. Get moving,
Mhm.
eat more nutritious food,
Yeah.
stay away from too much sugar,
Mhm.
um, and just reduce your stress.
Now,
Yeah.
today I was proud of myself. I really wanted some kind of snack. As I get older, sometimes I want chocolate or chips, and I was never a big chip eater,
Mhm.
but I had a taste for them. But you know what I did? I got some carrots and celery,
Mhm.
and ate that.
And
Now,
see,
I don't
for
do
It
that
me,
gives
all
you
the
the
time,
it
and I
gives you the
drink the
when I
control.
get
turmeric
ready
drink.
for a show, I stay
Uh-huh.
away from dairy. I stay away from chocolate because chocolate is caffeine,
Mm.
and I try to rid my body of all that. But for
Mhm.
me, my doctor was like, "Look, your numbers are getting up there. Your numbers are getting up there." She was like, "I need you to exercise
Mhm.
3 times a week, just 20 minutes a day, 3 times a
Mhm.
week." And of course, you hear it, but you don't take
Mhm.
it and be
Mhm.
accountable. And then those numbers really got up there. I
Mm.
got up to like a 6.3,
Mm.
and
Girl, I've been up to
she
14. You
she
talking about your
said I need
A1C?
she said
Mm.
I'm gonna need you to take a pill, and she knows I do not like medicine,
Eh,
and so I immediately went to the the exercise,
right, right.
and I got my numbers down within 6 weeks. I had
Okay.
them down, and my blood pressure was 160 to 170 on the top
Mhm.
number. Bottom number was 120 to
Oh
130,
wow.
which was extremely
Okay.
high.
Mhm.
Two things, ladies. We're going to run the clip for the upcoming show,
Okay.
and then
And
we're
I
going to
gave
finish
away the
talking
tickets
about
already too.
you.
So
What
we
do you
got our
mean?
winners. We got Stan Brooks, we got Isaac
Yes.
Jenkins, and then we
Yes.
got Clarissa Valentine. So we got our
Yes.
three winners.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we've got our winners.
One more, there is more. On April 12th, get ready for More Than Eyes Can See 5, featuring Crystal P with special guests, Demetrius Neighbors, and hosted by Martez Jackson. Come out and enjoy a night of music, comedy, and singing. You don't want to miss this groundbreaking finale. Doors open at 6 p.m. Tickets are available at the box office or at the Dearborn Performing Arts Center website. Get your tickets now.
Some of y'all don't know I got married on April Fool's Day. Ain't nobody show up because they thought we was playing.
Dress too. The,
One more.
yeah, I'm gonna show some of these fat thighs now.
You,
Um,
okay, you talking too much over your thing. They
one
can
of the
get your
oh
tickets
yeah, I'm
now.
sorry. I'm sorry. One of the people that have been to my shows many times, it's like, what are you gonna wear? What are you gonna wear? And I said, I haven't figured it out yet. And this was last year's show. Well, you gotta have a dress with a slit in it. I said, why? That's your signature. And I had to go back and look at the pictures from all the other shows, and I
So,
literally
ladies,
have
we're
a
almost out
slit.
of time, but I
Uh-huh,
love the slit on your show. Her picture
uh-huh,
on the flyer on May the 7th.
mhm.
Doctor Knuckles. There's a
Neuropathy. Oh,
neuropathic
Neuropathic.
neuropathic.
Right.
integrative health event,
Right.
and what they it, it's not determined where that's going to be
No,
at.
it's all going to be at our Big Sisters in Nursing Center on
Okay,
Haggerty Road.
so they can contact you
Yeah.
at
Keys to life at
mhm.
gmail.com. And it's keys as KHES,
So
the number two,
KHES, the number two,
life.
life at gmail.com. And there's a walking presentation on June the 4th that will all be at their center on Haggerty in Belleville,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's correct. That's
Oh,
correct. So we have
oh, so you
monthly
know that's
centers
right
there.
by Wayne County Community. That's
It
right where
is,
I'm
Oh
at.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, really? I used
Yeah,
to work at Wayne County
did
a couple
you?
semesters
If
ago.
these are these during the weekday or weekend
It's
or
a
what?
weekdays. But
Okay,
my office is there. So I have a
so
new office there in Belleville now. Was in
okay,
Bloomfield, went from Bloomfield to Belleville.
okay,
So we do lots of things. And the last thing I want to invite the community to is
mm-hmm,
my church. This Sunday, we're
mm-hmm.
having a Spring into Health event.
Okay,
So the whole
Kadish.
Cadiz Baptist Church,
Okay.
203
Shouts out to
61
Pastor
Plymouth,
Foster.
Pastor Foster, GL
Yes.
Foster.
And you're
I
having what
love
there and
And
what
Greg.
time?
it's a spring into health event, and
Okay.
the whole congregation is going to do some physical activity during our praise and worship service.
Okay, y'all gonna do throw them fans
There you
up.
go. Well, that's a good
Okay,
idea.
and tune in. You be sure and go to the Crystal P's website to get your More Than the Eyes Can See.
Yes.
April the 12th, her comedy performance, the fifth one and the last one for this
Yes.
one, will
Yes.
be April the 12th. So go to her website, which is
Crystal P is crazy.
Crystal P is
It's crazy
crazy
dot com.
dot com. Check out the show, get some comedy, love yourself
For life.
for life.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And don't forget our sponsors, ABB Wealth Strategies. You can reach them at 248 988 8200. They'll give you peace of mind and help you with your finances.